Welcome back to the video. Today we are back from the NFL video, this time talking about Anthony Richardson on the Colts and what his impact can really mean in his first year on the team. So before we get into it, guys, we're doing NFL videos like this all summer long, pretty much, going into each individual team, choosing one player and doing a video on them. Once we're done with that, we'll be going back over and talking about the team as a whole and how I expect them to really perform in this upcoming season. We have our NFL tier list coming soon, so a lot of NFL content, and then for all my Madden viewers, we're still doing Madden, of course, all that kind of stuff right there. But yeah, I just want to get that out of the way. So yeah, basically, we're just going to start looking at the depth chart here because, you know, it's important to know what Richardson has around him, but there is one huge factor that's not on the depth chart, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But first up, so how it stands right now, these are, I guess, really his weapons and what the offense is really looking like. Of course, he's listed as correct number 2 for right now. Will that stay the entire year? In my opinion, no way. Will it be like this week 1? Possibly. We'll have to wait and see. But here's the thing that really helps Anthony Richardson get a chance pretty soon is because Gardner Minshew, he is fairly decent. He's probably one of the better backups in the league, but he is also wildly inconsistent, it seems. So, I mean, if he's too inconsistent, I'm not sure why there'd be any hesitation to just throw Anthony out there and see what happens, honestly. As long as it's, you know, more responsible than what the Titans did with Malik Willis, because he should not have been on the field at any point. But either way, so right now it's Gardner Minshew, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and Kylen Granson, I'm sorry, and I'm honestly not really sure who that is. But yeah, so I don't know, maybe I'm casual, spam casual in the comments, I don't know. But so anyway, what really matters though is I guess the receivers for the most part. Tight end is definitely not the strength of this team, but you know I think they had a solid draft. They went and got what they needed. I mean, really all around. In my draft video, we talked about just how good the Colts draft was. But Jonathan Taylor obviously had a bit of a down year. He's still a great running back, and he'll be an easy check down guy for Richardson. Michael Pittman Jr., though, I think is going to really benefit the most by far from Richardson because he has put up very solid numbers with not crazy good quarterbacks in his career so far. So I think if Richardson can really hit it off, it's going to impact Pittman a lot. Alec Pierce had a very solid rookie season, and we'll get into their stats as well. But Josh Downs is the other huge part of this offense. He's a rookie receiver out of North Carolina, who, again, we'll get into more in just a minute. But, yeah, so this is what the offense is really looking like. I'm honestly pretty confident Richardson can put up some decent numbers with this offense when he gets in. But let's go in. That just hurt my elbow. But let's get into Pittman, actually. So let's go to his stats here and look at his stuff from last year. Now, obviously, it's not going to be exactly replicated. It's just kind of getting an idea out there. And I'll zoom in because I can never remember when I'm filming these, if you guys can see without me zooming in. But either way, with us zoomed in, so he started off the season really hot, 121 receiving yards. He had 100 again against Jacksonville, and those are his only 100-yard games of the season, but still, he had a great year. The Colts as a whole were just very, very questionable, and that's why there's a lot of question marks there. I'm not going to spend too much time on the receiver because this isn't Anthony Richardson video, but I got to give some context to what he has to work with here. But that is Michael Pittman Jr. right there, and then we'll go back a little bit, and I want to look at Alec Pierce again, who I already mentioned had, I think, 500 yards as a rookie, and I think he had a couple touchdowns with that as well. And again, I will zoom in for you guys like that. Hopefully that looks okay. So he had a very solid rookie year. Again, he was just a big body. I mean, he can go up and get the ball for sure. He didn't break 100, but it's all right. It's not a big deal. He's a rookie receiver. It's not like that shouldn't be like the trademark of if they had like a good game or not, a good season or not, because really the consistency is there with all of his targets. I mean, most of the time, he kind of came down with it, which is very good to see, especially with Richardson now being able to kind of get that chemistry while Alec Pierce is still very young, only his second year. But a solid year from Alec Pierce, or solid, I should say, rookie year, that needs to be stated, for Alec Pierce as well. And then going back here, so Josh Downs, I'm not going to get his stats. He's a rookie, but he had over 2,300 yards in his last 2 seasons at North Carolina with 19 touchdowns. So, again, very solid right there. But a huge part of this team that has to be talked about when talking about Anthony Richardson is the head coach that just came over from the Eagles, is Shane Steichen, because he was a huge part in developing Jalen Hurts. I mean, absolutely huge. And I think the biggest thing, and I'm not sure if the Colts planned on taking Richardson, but you got to think that, getting Shane in the first place was a very, very good idea if they were planning on it, because he can definitely develop Richardson, I mean, at the very least, very similar to how he developed Hurts. And obviously, Hurts had a monster year and slowly was growing as well with Shane as the offensive coordinator, over there in Philly. Sorry about that. So that's a huge part of this is that he can really run a similar offense to what was being used in Philadelphia to strengthen Jalen Hurts. And even if the offense is going to be fairly different over in Indianapolis, the tools and the fundamentals he used to help coach up Hurts as far as footwork, throw on the run, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's what Richardson actually really needs, is that the whole question mark around him is, can he be an NFL talent because he is such a raw prospect? But if you have a coach who's already handled a prospect, not as raw as Richardson, but, fairly similar, I mean, he can definitely do very similar things. And the footwork and the decision making is a big thing with Anthony Richardson. And then, of course, his accuracy is, again, a huge thing. But again, that can all really be taught. And he honestly, Minshew, you don't want it to crack all year, but you can definitely have him start all year if you really want him to have an okay season just to let AR develop under, Minshew, under Shane Steichen. And then that's just going to be a huge thing to look at over the course of this year is if they let him get in pockets of games and take him back out and just see what happens, see what he does while he's out there, then take him back to really see that progression. Or if it's going to be more of an approach where Mahomes kind of sits under Alex Smith and all of a sudden he gets in and just, boom. And I'm not comparing Patrick Mahomes to Anthony Richardson, just so we're all clear. But I'm just saying it's going to be interesting to see what approach they take. Or if they just go week one, just throw him out there and say, yeah, go play. Well, we'll see what happens. We have enough confidence in you. Early reports are saying that the Colts coaches are actually very impressed and feel like he's not as a raw of a prospect that he was actually called during the draft process, which would be very interesting if that was all kind of for nothing and he honestly has the opportunity to just go out there and play because he is more fundamentally sound than, at once thought during the draft process. And then, of course, I showed the other player stats. I have to show Anthony's. Obviously, we'll have to go back to college for this. But for those of you that may not be very familiar with him or why he has such a big question mark on him, I mean, these are his college stats. And he was selected 4th overall. That just shows just how high his ceiling is because there isn't a whole lot here, but just watching him and the potential he has as a runner and his athleticism and his unbelievably, just absurd arm strength, I mean, it's just way too good to pass up. So you want to look, 2020, he had 27 passing yards with 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Then 2021, 529, 6-5 touchdown interception ratio. And then 2022, 2,549 passing yards, 17-9 touchdown interception ratio. And again, that's not insanely good, but again, his rushing also was going up. He also had 9 touchdowns to that, 2022 stat line. So that's really 7 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 9 rushing touchdowns as well, which is, you can't leave that out. It makes him sound a lot worse than what he really is because he does a lot more than just pass the ball, which is why he's such a huge just ceiling because he's just such a good dual threat quarterback. And his arm strength really just unbelievable. But looking at these stats, there's not a whole lot to go off on. That's why you really have to just kind of watch the tape on him because to see him play and to see how natural he looks while he's running and just see how effortless it looks when he throws the ball 70 yards, it's really insane. And that's why he did go 4th. So if any of you guys are unfamiliar with just his stats and maybe why he went that high or maybe, why he didn't go higher if he was 1, this is why. This is why it was such a big question mark. It is something to worry about, absolutely, because if you're not winning in college, there's definitely a question mark if you can win at the next level. But, I mean, he has quite possibly one of the best coaches to help him transition to the NFL. He has undeniable, just natural talent when it comes to passing the ball and running. And the fundamentals, really, I mean, you can kind of teach that. You can kind of teach the footwork, and you can definitely teach decision making. That's going to come with, just experience in general. And the accuracy, I think what I've heard is that also kind of happened with his footwork because his hips weren't squared or all that kind of stuff. It wasn't direct on the receiver, so the ball would go way too high or way too out to the side. And again, if you're not a believer in him, it's valid. I mean, it is validated because there is a huge question mark on him. But one thing's for certain, at least in my opinion, is that he is for sure going to see the field at least once this year. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts really just say, you know what, he's starting week 1 because you can always take him back out too if he's not doing well. Personally, I would let him sit a couple weeks, see what the team's looking like, and then give him a chance to go out there if you're maybe down big or up big. But yeah, so that's really gonna do it for the video. I just had to talk about Anthony Richardson when it came to the Colts because I don't know a bigger player on this team at this point, because he has the opportunity to really take this team to the next level. If he's proven as a runner, you can do some crazy options with Jonathan Taylor. Also, maybe getting the run or run pass option, where you can also look at maybe Michael Pittman or maybe Josh Downs. It just really depends. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Let me know below, though, if you guys are an AR-15 believer or not when it comes to Anthony Richardson. I don't actually know what his number will be in the NFL, so maybe that nickname doesn't work anymore, but whatever. Let me know, because, you know, just tell me why. If the stats scare you, if the inconsistencies scare you, or if you just think the natural athleticism and abilities are just too good to pass up. Honestly, I'll understand either way. But thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new around here. I do Madden and NFL content. NFL, we do videos like this all summer long. We do NFL tier list videos, NFL quiz videos, and then of course when the season's going on, we do our week picks. And then for Madden, we do gameplays. We have Panthers theme team series. We do pack openings, and we do new promo news, all that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.